Hello, everybody, and good evening. Today is Friday, January 23rd. Looks like it's going on about little after 7. I'm going to start this next episode of the podcast in between heaven and earth, talking about Luke passing away and it being so unexpected and us never finding or giving a reason why through autopsy testing and we're still waiting on the genetic profiling and all that. But even if they find anything in that genetic test, the death certificate's still going to read the cause of death is unknown. So that's kind of a heartbreaker there. I don't guess you really would understand it unless you've been through it, but not being able to say what caused your child to pass is it's a punch to the stomach, and not one that you get past quite so quickly. It'll stick with you. I think last time we talked about mine and Luke's relationship and how close we were, and how much I missed him. Just don't even feel like this is the same life, and it's not. I've moved into another life, and I'm learning to live again. And I guess any parent that's lost a child, they probably understand what I'm saying and what I mean when I say that. Um, but so this time we're going to talk about. I'm just going to talk a little bit about, you know, uh, about how I believe and my spiritual beliefs and what I think's happened and all that. So, and I'm not saying any of this to offend anybody, and I hope I don't offend anybody or hurt anybody's feelings, because I believe that everybody has a right to believe however they want. The beauty of our great nation is freedom of religion. But I know when religion gets brought up, a lot of times it ignites a fire in people. But yeah, I don't really understand why, because God gave us free will, each and every one, and we're all each individuals. And that's shouldn't really expect everyone to be exactly like you. If everybody was exactly like you, it'd be one heck of a boring world. So let me start out by saying that I am a believer in God the Father. I believe that Jesus came and died and paid the ransom um, for Adam and Eve's sins, and by doing so, he saved us all from death. And by death, what I mean is, this is going to be really hard for me to explain. I've never really, like I said, me and Luke talked about it. But okay, the New Testament Bible, when I believe everything that's in the Bible, even Revelation, has been completed. It's done, it's over with. God sent Jesus just to do a short work. Jesus himself said that, some of the disciples wouldn't see death until he had come back, and the destruction and all that. He talked about the famines and wars and all that was based on the Romans sacking Jerusalem in the first century, and they destroyed the temple, and they laid Jerusalem completely to the ground, level with the ground, and there was a lot of they surrounded them and entrenched them, and they couldn't get any food, and so on and so forth. That's why I believe that everything's done, and now when you die, it's my belief that you go straight to heaven. And you go straight to heaven, and I do believe you have a life review with God, because we since Jesus completed his work, he handed everything back over to the Father. So now it's our duty to go straight to the Father. Um, because when Jesus finished his work, he made God all in all, omnipotent, if you will. So that's what I believe. Just to give you, that's just a really quick rundown. I believe that sin no longer exists. I believe that Jesus, when he died on the cross, he uh, he defeated and destroyed sin and the grave and Satan. And by the grave, what I mean is, before Jesus, when you died, you would lay in the grave, basically sleeping until the coming of Christ. And when Christ came, he raised all those that were asleep. Well, first, yeah, when he was crucified, he went and preached to the dead, and then once he rose, those people were risen from the dead, and people even talk. The Bible even says, there were uh, there were some that had died that were walking in the streets of Jerusalem after the crucifixion of Christ. But if anybody wants me to go in depth on how I believe, I'll probably do a second podcast on that, because it's kind of crazy. It's not crazy. I know that it's real because I've talked to God, and God has sent me signs, literal signs. I've said to him, God, if this is how it is, send me this sign, let me know if I'm thinking about this right. And he sent it. There's been times when I was thinking wrong and I never got the sign. So, you know, that's how I discern what is and what isn't. So, um, yeah, right now we're living in the new heaven and the new earth, and the new heaven is that we have direct access to God the Father again, because we don't have sin on us anymore. All the sin has been paid for and wiped away. We can create the actions and do that, but they've already been paid for. So God doesn't see it. He's basically, because of what Christ did, he's blind to those sins. And that's the only way he could save our everlasting souls. But Well, now we're being judged by the content of our heart. Basically, if we love and feel compassion, pain, and sorrow, and love unselfishly and unconditionally, um, and forgive one another, because ain't no one of us done done everything perfect. We all fall short of the glory of God, and therefore, uh, if one of us was going to go to hell, we'd all have to go to hell. And that's another thing. There is no hell. Hell is just um, something that was made up by the burning eternal lake of fire. Hell, something made up by the um, Middle Ages Catholic Church to try to control the masses out of fear. Um, it's not real. The only thing that hell is a separation from God, never being able to have God in your life, and that is hell. There's it's my belief, and my mom she kind of gets aggravated with me when I talk about it. When we die, I don't think anybody. I think we all go straight to heaven. I don't think anybody goes to hell. I think when Jesus died on the cross, he by dying on the cross, he saved us all. He was the last Adam. Adam was the first Adam, and he sinned. Jesus was the last Adam. He was sinless. He died for all of us. So, so when we all die now, we're gonna go to heaven. We're gonna be laying in a grave and waiting for God to come or Jesus to come back. It's been 2,000 years, and some people still think he's coming back. And when he said, the time is at hand, back then, 2,000 years ago, when he was on the earth, the time was at hand. You know, he told his disciples to keep watch and to be ready, because the time was short, the time was at hand. So yeah, that's why I believe all that. So that's what basically what I'm getting to is I know that Luke is when he died, he went straight to heaven, and he was a good kid, but he wasn't perfect. He wasn't perfect, and none of us are, and a lot of people get that anxiety, wondering if their kid did enough to make it to heaven or whatever. You don't have to worry about that. God took care of that for you. God and Jesus, because we sure as heck couldn't do it. We tried and tried and tried again. We failed every time. So, so God took it into his own hands, sent his own son we all died in Christ when he died on that cross. And we were reborn again in righteousness when he was raised on the third day. It really is the greatest gift that's ever been given or ever will be given. Um, so that's how I believe. And, you know, uh, when I started walking and talking to God, and, first thing I did, and I had never done this before in my life, never asked this of the Heavenly Father. I said, God, Luke is up there with you and in heaven like I believe he is. He's okay, and I really don't have to worry about him. If what I'm thinking is right, send me a sign. Let me know. Just send me a sign. Send me something. Anything. About the time I got done, or that even got completely out of my mouth, it was early spring, and this little white butterfly, about this big, floating by, floating right in front of me. Ended, and I sat there and looked at it and thought, was just kind of in awe. I said, God, is this you telling me that Luke is up there and he's safe and happy and surrounded by love, and he's in paradise and with the ones that have gone before. And that little butterfly just took off, took up, floated off. So I knew then that was God talking to me, God telling me that what I was thinking was right, and that Luke was uh, Luke was in heaven, and he was okay, and uh, that I really didn't have to worry or be scared. So yeah, that's so after that, I started talking. I started talking to God every day and thanking Him for everything that He's ever done for me and the life that I've been able to lead and all the blessings and opportunities and um, gifts that He's given me and my family throughout the years. Because although there have been lean times, there were never times that we did completely without. We always had love and family and, forgiveness, and we always had Him. Well, I can tell you right now, He's never left my side through my whole life. He's always been with me. He's been my rock and my constant through the good and the bad, through the light and the dark. He's been there. I can feel Him. I don't know if I'm the only person that is like that, but I can feel His presence. I've always been able to feel Him, even as a young kid. Made me feel safe at night. When I'd get scared, I'd just think about God being there with me, and it just make me just calm me down. Um, I started reading the Bible again. Started praying every day, twice a day, talking to Luke, sometimes 3 times a day. I'd walk in the morning and of an evening. And if I had any questions, I'd go out and take another walk, and I'd send the questions up, and he'd always send the answer back. No matter what kind of question I had, I'd be like, "Okay, Heavenly Father, here's what I'm dealing with today," and I'd send that up, and he'd always he'd always answer me. Oh, but I wrote down a bunch of them and of the questions that I asked, and I'll just go over a couple of them for you here that are connected to Luke. If I can find this list that I. Got the signs right here, the signs from Luke and God. Okay, the first one it goes all the way back to it goes all the way back to when I first started walking. Um, that's the white butterfly, and on the 30th, the day before my birthday, I went out for a walk because I'd been feeling down and sick, and just was looking for a sign. And as soon as I went outside, that little white butterfly with the black dots on its wings showed up. And then, just about as I was about to go in, a cardinal flew by and landed on the fence post or the fence right beside me. And then on my birthday, when I was out there that morning, as soon as I walked outside, I was wondering, is the way I believe, is it real? Is it real? Is it the real truth? And as soon as I walked out, there was a cardinal in the tree. I mean, just as bright, straightforward, right in my uh, line of sight. And I walked around the yard a couple of laps, and then that white butterfly came. He landed, and then landed like he did the first time and took off. And then before I went back in, the cardinal had come back and was sitting right where he was at. And I was convinced of the signs that God was sending me then. I wrote here, I'm convinced in these signs and what I've asked. Is Luke okay? Yes. Is he happy? Yes. Is the way that I believe correct? Yes. Then on Father's Day, I just asked about the Bible again, about my beliefs, and said to the Father, I was like, I know I shouldn't be asking this, but show me a sign. And next thing, there were two red cardinals sitting on the back fence. And I just stopped in my tracks and I just stood there and was just looking at them. And that little white butterfly come gracefully floating over the fence and landed on my feet. I talked to it for about a minute and then it just flew off over the other side of the fence. After that, I wrote down God is Almighty, and He speaks. On 29th of June, and this is concerning Luke. I'd been going over and over and over in my head about what could have happened, and we'd just gotten the results back of the testing, and it was negative. He was just healthy. I'd been thinking and praying. I'd started to believe that maybe Luke's passing was of a divine nature. Maybe Luke was born for a certain purpose, and it was time for that purpose to be fulfilled. And it was time for him to go home to be with God. Because the Bible does say there's a time to live and a time to die. And so when I went out to walk on the 29th, I was praying to God and I was telling him about that. I was like, is this what happened? Was it just Luke's time? Was this passing of a divine nature? As soon as those words came out of my mouth, there were two male cardinals right in front of me. And so I've come to the conclusion, and I believe fully with my heart that that God, I'm not going to say took Luke because he didn't take him, he called him home. There was a purpose that needed to be fulfilled. And God, I don't question God's plan. I know that I couldn't even understand it if he laid it out in front of me because there's that much difference between us and God. So, and I got a lot more here. And, um, like I said, if y'all want me to do a podcast on the way I believe, I've got notes here for days. Um, and I'd be more than happy to do that. Just give me some feedback and let me know what y'all think about it. And if y'all want me to do it, I'll do it. I can make it a short one. I can make it a long one. Whatever you want me to do, I can go in little bit more in depth. Yeah, I believe, and I talked to Luke about it, and I've talked to a few people about it. A few people know, Mom knows, and my brother knows, and it's I believed like that before Luke passed, and me and Luke even talked about it before, and because he was raised Catholic, he had a hard time. I think most people have a hard time just believing that because for 2,000 years they've said, Jesus hasn't returned and he's going to return again. But and the way that I believe and the way that I know, because God has told me and showed me that Jesus already did return, and the new heaven is the heaven with the new Jerusalem in it, and Jesus is the King of the new Jerusalem in heaven, and the 12 apostles are living in that, and the 144,000 chosen are living in the New Jerusalem in heaven. And, God the Father is over earth now. We have access to him now, whereas we didn't before, which is why we had to, back in the Old Testament, people had to go through I guess I'll just say priests for lack of a better word, the chosen, the Levites, because they couldn't talk directly to God. Only the certain ones could talk to God because there was sin on all of us, and in order to talk to God, you had to go through all this whole ritual of cleansing, and to become worthy to even speak to God. But yeah, that's how I know that Luke is okay, and he's in heaven, and he's happy, and he's surrounded by love and light, and he's up there with all of his family that's gone before, and all of our friends that have gone on before, and that makes me happy. But I still, you know, although my spirit and my faith and my hope and my love for the Heavenly Father are unbreakable, unbendable. The human part of me still, it's this body is not. This body comes from the dirt, and it's not a holy thing. So it still aches for my son. Like, I still want him here, and I wish that I would want hope that things could have went a different way, but I would never ever second guess God's plan or God's will, and I would never ever ask for God to send him back to this place, because it's so full of hate, and it is so full of darkness, and people just have no respect for life anymore, or for other people's opinions. They want to rule the way people think, act, and everything. And I'm just not down for that. Luke wasn't down for that. I've heard it said too that there's one verse in the Bible that talks about how people always wonder why the young die, the good die, and why that is. And this passage says, a lot of the times it's because there's bad things that coming, and the good are taken to be spared from the pain and the fallout from the bad things that are headed this way. So, if that's the case, then I don't know. Like I said, I my thoughts right now, and my belief right now is that it was of a divine nature that he was taken. That's where I'm going to stand until I'm proven wrong, but I don't think I will be. I loved him with my whole heart and soul, and losing him, it damn near killed me. Came really close. And I'm still broken. I'm still completely broken and shattered, and I put a brave face on, and I stay strong for my kids, my other children, and my family, and people that need help. I'll be strong for them. But underneath, if what was going on underneath was showing on my face, I believe I'd scare the living hell out of everybody. And I ain't saying that lightly, because I'm a mess. Losing your firstborn child, your oldest son, your best friend, the person that you spend most of your time with, and the person that you want to talk to when you found out something exciting, or get some good news, you want to share it with somebody, and that person's now they're gone. It changes you. It honestly, I believe that who I was before is dead and gone, because I don't feel like the same person at all. I really don't. I don't feel like the same person at all, and I believe if I took a poll, there's probably a lot of parents, bereaved parents, that would say the same thing. And You know, just to give you a brief rundown, August of July of 2022, my dad passed away unexpectedly. 2023, we we spent grieving him and all that. August of 2024, happy occasion. My oldest daughter got married. Me and Luke went to that wedding, and we had a good time. It was fun. We stayed to the very end of the reception, and Luke had fun. Got to see everybody. Like he was dancing all night. He was in good health. He said, "This is just so weird." And then December 29th of 2024 is when he passed. And through March of that year, I was comatose. I was out of my own head. I was actually it's just bad. But my youngest son with my ex-wife, Luke's little brother Elijah, he turned around and he ended up getting married in July of 2025. So that was another factor in me getting up and moving around, getting back in shape and getting healthy, and trying to assimilate some type of normalcy, was so that I could make it to his wedding. And we did. We all went. Me and my brother and my nephew, we all drove up there and went to his wedding, and it was, we was good. We had a fun time. But Elijah was, I'll never forget it, at the funeral. He was standing up there talking to Luke. I stood up there by his casket the whole time. Both viewings, never left his side, except for maybe once to use the bathroom that I can remember. Elijah was talking to him. He's like, "I'm gonna miss you, and you were supposed to be my best man at my wedding." And that just broke me right there. I just started bawling, and he started crying. It was just it was bad. But he got married. He's been married since July of 25. And, I love him. I love all my kids just as much as I loved Luke. If this had been any of the other kids, I'd be the same way. And, I hope God doesn't choose to take another one from me. I don't think I could get through that. I think that would really put me down. Because this one was hard enough. And, I was talking to my, oh man, it's almost 40 minutes again. I'll jump off here and I'll get started on this on the next episode, I reckon. But we'll talk about my going to the therapist, and my relationship with my psychologist. And I'll even talk about the journal that I've written, and my support group. Gosh, I love them. They're like, they was like a saving grace to me, just to know that I wasn't alone in all of this, and how it happened a heck of a lot more often than anybody realizes. But anyway, I'll get off here. I'm going right on here at 40 minutes, and I don't want to. I don't want to. Uh, I don't like uploading those long videos. Plus, 40 minutes is a long time for people to listen. But when I get to talking about this stuff, I just lose track of time. But anyway, everybody out there listening, got that weather coming in, y'all. Like I said yesterday, be safe, take it slow, be careful, stay warm, get stocked up on water and bread and milk and stuff that you can eat with in case your power goes out, and uh, get all the blankets out. You got a wood burning fireplace, make sure you got enough wood. If you don't, just make sure to keep the doors closed and stay bundled up under them covers. And just want to send out a blessing to all of y'all. Tell you, I'm sending you all good vibes, and I'm sending you lots of love, and thinking about y'all, and appreciate everything that y'all done for me. And I love y'all, and I'll see you next time.